Hi everyone, and welcome to our session about modernizing your SAP landscape. We are going to share with you today how we can help you facilitate and benefit from your SAP transformation, including with and on public clouds. We will have a real look at it and then conclude with what next. I'm Giacomo, Chief Technology Officer at SUSE, and today I will be joined by Markus Noga.
My name is Markus Noga. I'm Vice President of Solutions Technology at SUSE, and it's my mission to help transform customer IT landscapes into true solutions for the toughest business problems. Proud to be working with the SUSE team to make your transitions into public cloud as easy as possible. And with that, back to you, Thomas.
Thank you, Markus. So we are in 2020, as you can tell from us not being together. Luckily, though, this year is coming to an end very soon. Now, IT professionals have been looking at running applications, hosting data, delegating some of the infrastructure management to public cloud since quite a while already. For use cases where it makes sense to benefit from elasticity and as a service model, and also a broad set of services available to them on clouds. And it has accelerated in the past few months, with the global health and safety and economic context we're all living in, as well as thanks to more use cases being handled in clouds. Now, even years later, it can still be a challenge to execute such migration and cloud deployment projects. And as an industry, we have and we can still simplify them a lot to be able to cope with all the constant changes our businesses are going through. We need to have the capacity to adapt, to modernize, and to accelerate our IT for our companies to stay relevant, for our companies to innovate and develop differentiators to compete in our respective markets. And this is certainly true of our SAP landscapes as well. Actually, at SUSE, we both went through that transformation ourselves with our own IT, and we've supported and powered thousands of customers and partners in doing so. So today, we would like to share with you our learnings there, how we are developing our solutions accordingly, and very concrete steps for you to deploy and manage SAP, and especially SAP HANA, on a public cloud. Markus, I'm handing it over to you now.
Thank you, Thomas. Yes, the path to the cloud can be a daunting one, particularly if you're a team that is strong in SAP basis administration, that's strong in SAP application management, but may be used to a Microsoft Windows runtime environment. Because going to the cloud means not just selecting a cloud service provider and getting a handle on their provisioning APIs and understanding how public cloud works. It also means building up a skill set in Linux and understanding how to transition your workloads onto that operating system. Well, it used to until now. With the labs preview that I'm about to show you, I'll demonstrate how SUSE makes it radically easy to take your SAP application workloads onto an Azure cloud running the best Linux for SAP, SUSE Linux, without actually having to learn Linux, understanding the command line, or being deep in the weeds of configuration and text files. Let's see how SUSE can simplify your cloud transition. And setting up HANA on Azure should be as easy as figuring out what kind of compute power and sizing you need for your database and figuring out your availability stance. Do you prefer to be highly available, always up, and being able to recover from interruptions in no time? Or do you prefer a more economical setup that is frugal and able to help you optimize your IT expenditure? With SUSE on Azure, you can do both, and figuring out your HANA configuration is as easy as picking one of the predefined options, flicking a few switches, and then seeing us do the hard work of generating configuration files and making sure your Linux system is optimally configured and ready to go. All it takes is working with the web interface. And once your HANA is up and running, we give you cloud-native observability with the best and most beautiful of tooling, including Grafana dashboards. Whether it's availability, uptime, resource consumption, hardware usage, or loads on the system, the dashboards that are pre-configured provide you with observability of all key parameters and events around system operations to make sure that your HANA system is always running and that you are always abreast of latest developments concerning that system. And this is not all. We've gone the extra step to natively integrate our Grafana-based monitoring with Microsoft Azure monitoring, giving you an eagle's eye view of your entire IT landscape and giving you observability with 360-degree perspective of all systems involved. And when your systems are up and running, there's always a moment when you have to tune them, right? Let's say that a new node comes out for SAP asking you to make certain configuration settings for newer generation hardware. Or let's say that a new vulnerability comes out that needs to be taken care of. At SUSE, we believe in making this kind of tuning and configuration as easy for you as possible as well. We're taking the care to translate all these nodes into software-defined configuration files. We're giving you configuration as code so that you can just pick nodes from a menu and ask for them to be applied automatically. What happens behind the scenes, SUSE takes care of you. All you see is a traffic light that gives you a red or green status on application of this node or this tuning or configuration parameter, not just on one system, but across multiple system landscapes to make sure your configuration and tuning is again as easy, as SaaS-like, as cloud-like as humanly possible. So in a nutshell, SUSE is out to make you the hero of your company's cloud transformation. We want to help you take off and fly with a cloud-native experience, providing you with a real user-friendly interface and eliminating the need for deep Linux skills in as many areas as possible. This goes from launch of your initiative with guided setup and automated deployment, over observability of your system at runtime, ready-to-run dashboards and native Azure integration of the monitoring. And it reaches all the way into tuning and configuration, where you can rest assured that your SAP nodes and the configuration of these nodes will always be up to date. This is only possible with the best Linux for SAP on Azure Cloud, that is SUSE Linux. And you don't just have to take my word for us. Let's have a look at the word of the customer and experiences and testimonials from the many clients running their most mission-critical workloads on SUSE today. For that, Thomas, handing over to you.
Thank you, Markus. And actually, thanks to what you've presented, thanks to the way that we are designing our solutions with ease of use and user outcome first, together with years of co-innovation and co-development with SAP itself, with an ecosystem of partners from global SIs to cloud service providers and other software vendors, we have been able to help many, many customers across all types of industries and all shapes or forms of their SAP landscape and needs. And there are just a few quotes on that slide that you can read, but there are hundreds of customer success stories that frequently mention that they find very significant value in those migrations, from increased time, or speed up the time to market for their solutions, a better way to manage things and operate things, and not only due to the SAP specific features we are bringing in our products, but also in the SAP partnership and the way that SUSE works as a flexible and easy to work with partner. And that's why we estimate that about 70% of all SAP application deployments on Linux are on SUSE Linux, or that about 90% of all SAP HANA deployments, both appliances, TDIs, and on clouds, are also built on SUSE Linux. Actually, about 5 years ago, SUSE has collaborated with SAP and IBM to deliver SAP HANA on Power Systems. And over the last 4 years, IBM has seen about 3,000 customers deploy SAP HANA on SUSE Linux Enterprise Server for SAP applications. It's worth mentioning as well that SAP's ERP solution for mid-sized businesses, namely SAP Business One, has always run on just one server operating system, SUSE Linux Enterprise Server. Now that we can smoothly run our SAP in the cloud, what's next for us IT professionals to further simplify, modernize, and accelerate our IT and businesses? Well, there is a lot of relevant software innovation, and I would argue that most of it is coming from open source technologies, a lot of innovation that we should be looking at as IT professionals. And one of them is containers, container management, container orchestration, and more importantly, the ecosystem around it to handle the IT operations with security, infrastructure automation, as well as the application life cycles by providing developer-focused solutions. We've been working on that for many years at SUSE already, including with SAP again, for instance, to bring SAP Data Intelligence as a containerized solution on top of SUSE Kubernetes, or as another example, joint work we've been doing with SAP around the SAP Cloud Platform with Cloud Foundry components, which are designed to enable developers and run natively cloud-native applications with Kubernetes. SUSE is going to the next level in that space now with our acquisition of Rancher Labs. Rancher is a leader in enterprise container management platform, supporting multi-tenant, multi-cluster, infrastructure-agnostic container-based setups. That means that you can benefit from a world-class solution to easily manage all your container-based environments, irrespective of where they sit, whether it's in the cloud, on-prem in your data center, or even at the edge with specific solutions there as well from Rancher. So as we've been doing at SUSE in the past and doing today, this will also help us help you even more in the future with all the constant adaptation and transformation of IT, including the SAP-related aspects of it. Markus and I wanted to thank you again for joining us today and for your attention. Please do feel free to reach out to us and to learn more about where we can help you and what we are covering during SAP TechEd on suse.com/TechEd. Thank you again and enjoy the rest of the conference.